Hello YouTube and newsletter subscribers. This is Terrell from Terrell3.com, and today is April the 10th, Thursday, April the 10th, 2014, and this is the Black Star Update Report. It's connected to Volume 15 of Terrell's 2014 newsletter. Lots and lots to cover, and this is the longest Black Star Update Report that has been written so far in the last 3 years. Lots and lots of information. There's actually a part of the seismic chart that's included right here at the top, because what's happening is, well, it's just a little bit astounding, and the repercussions are more and more for America. Actually, the Ring of Fire has been highly active on previous orbit cycles, but now the activity, the magma flows, they're moving into the Pacific Ocean Ring of Fire in the northeastern quadrant, and it's becoming dramatic. So if you just look at this line right here, this is what happened for the last week. Notice we're getting the 8s and the 7s now where there were 0s before. 6 is the highest number of 6 magnitude quakes that we've had in a week. 57 is by far the highest number of 5 magnitude quakes we've had in a week. This 326 is among the highest values, and it is almost as high. 341 was the highest value for the entire year last year. That was on the week of May the 20th, and part of the reason that I'm looking at May the 20th as Trouble Will Robinson. There's a lot of information here, lots of links to related information, and the solar thread is what is getting ready to kick off with great intensity. And I'm not even going to try to read this whole report. It would take the entire update time. And let's move down. Well, first of all, let's go over to Solar System Scope. I'm not sure. Oh, I didn't change the settings to show you guys the... Let's see if I can get there from here. The stars, constellations. Let's brighten them up a little bit so you can see where we are. And let's find Saturn. Because Saturn, if you look beyond, is in the Libra constellation relative to the Sun. Notice that the Earth is right now passing between the Sun and Virgo, and we actually just came into opposition. The Sun and Mars are in opposition to the Earth. We've just passed beyond that point, and we're moving in the direction of Saturn. That's right here. Remember that there's a magnetic portal connection that's running from the Sun to Saturn, and that there's another magnetic portal connection running to the Earth, and the black star, I believe, is in this area. So we are coming right around in orbit, and we should see indications that the portal-to-portal cross-firing is taking place. We should see extremely large electromagnetic cloud forming right in this region, and another one forming on the opposite side in this region nearer the black star. Two sets of electromagnetic clouds that are expected to form. The Sun interprets this as danger and begins launching solar flares. The solar flare activity when the Earth was around here on the backside was on the eastern limb. Now as we're looking at the Sun from this direction, this activity is because of the triangle that's created between these magnetic portal connections, and they're converging as the Earth comes around in orbit. This is the danger part of space that we're entering into right now. So that's where we are in the cycle. Earth is coming around in orbit. See, we're going to be moving into Libra here shortly, and that's whenever all the trouble is going to begin. And we're seeing indications. Oh, something else I wanted to point out that is described in here. When we came around in orbit here in February, around here, the magnetic portal connection running from the Sun to the Earth to the black star made a right triangle. Now as we're coming on around, and that was supposed to be the seismic lull. This was the end of the lull period. Well, as we came around in orbit, now we're moving towards the black star, you see? But as we come on around like we are now, then the magnetic portal connection between the black star and the Earth shrinks, not only based upon Earth orbit velocity speed, but also black star velocity speed. So they're converging on the same point around this position right here, right in here. the Earth and the black star are moving into the same general area of space, if my research is correct, and that means severe heating of the Earth core. Remember, Earth core was measured around here in 2013 to be 1,000 degrees hotter than ever previously recorded, and that is why we are seeing the increased activity that's being warned about in this newsletter. See, underneath my report, then you've got Yellowstone. The caldera appears to be unzipping. There are lots and lots and lots of reports. Don the astronomer sending information. The bulge in Yellowstone Lake. This is an indication of the birth pangs. We're both Bible oriented and we recognize the earth pangs, of what's going on. So here's an astral traveler video showing the anomalous activity happening with the Earth magnetosphere, things like that. And here's my 15-minute YouTube Yellowstone warning video also. Then volcanoes all over the Ring of Fire are erupting right now. Is the USA next? And the answer, yes, it is. The United States has been spared thus far, but now we're seeing all the indications that things are getting ready to heat up. Animals running out of Yellowstone, more and more seismic activity, more sinkholes, possible evacuation of Yellowstone. My view is that the animals have more sense than the sheeple. The animals will run out of there long before the sheep will connect the dots. And catastrophe appears to be looming in the proximity of the Yellowstone caldera over there. So I'm just giving you guys the information. If you live there, then you're running your own threat assessment. You're doing your own contingency planning. I'm here to help you, but in the end, you're going to have to make up your own mind. I'm telling you guys what I do, what I've done to prepare, moving to the Ozarks for 2 years, shaking a lot of hands with people that own caverns, because I see caverns as a vital part of your survival strategy for a month to a 2-month period as a black star comes in near proximity. Then Angela has sent information on the Paul LaViolette G2 cloud superwave theory. He began writing that paper 30 years ago, and guess what? His convergence date for events related to his superwave, May of 2014. Same thing. So am I seeing a superwave? Am I seeing the black star that's coming in here? We're going to find out. But my black star investigation is based on binary twin to our sun coming to the inner solar system, and there are other stories out there of magnetic energy balls and things like that. Great characterization of what the black star is. But Paul LaViolette could very well be looking at this wave coming in, and this could be the same thing. It's just, to a carpenter everything's a nail, to a mason everything's a brick. And Paul LaViolette, he's more of an astrophysicist, so he is using the tools available to him. I'm using the tools available to me, and this appears to be a black star to me, and could very well be the same thing. So Frank, very smart guy, sending us information on his predictions. He sees the next 8.8 earthquake hitting on May the 6th. He gives you his reason why. You guys can go and check out his information at this link. Then here's more information on 7 volcanoes in different countries, all erupting within hours of each other. Another indication, remember I said that the Earth core did not cool down on the previous orbit cycle? However, these volcanic and seismic events are pushed to the second half of this uptick period because black stars have been outpacing us laterally in the orbit diagram. So now we're catching up and a convergence is happening, and that's why we're seeing suddenly, these things are jumping out at us. The Yellowstone caldera was recently discovered to be 2.5 times larger than previously measured, and there's more activity down there, and when there's more activity it's easier to measure, and they're saying it's way bigger and it's bulging, and well, you guys can draw your own conclusions. Then Bonnie, very, very good investigator, and she has a tendency towards being lured towards the rabbit holes like many researchers, but she does come up with a lot of really good stuff. There's lots of good links here, and those of you really interested in following the investigation closely, there's a subscription, $10 a month, to help monitor these things more closely. Then Christine, God bless Christine. She's the first newsletter subscriber in like a month or 2 or something like that. And she's using the resources. She's jumping in here with questions about what happened at Long Beach at 12:45. and the booms taking place. Then I gave her the top 4 reasons for these booms, and it turned out to be, she wrote me back and said, they figured it out. It turned out to be number 3, that the Navy was actually doing a, series of test flights. And so, I mean, it could have been from a meteor fireball. It could have been because of the skyquake phenomenon. We're in the right position in orbit. And it could be because of pressurizing calderas. She lives just west of that position. So it turned out to be number 3 in this case. But Christine is a good example of somebody that is awake, aware, and searching for more information. And she and Bonnie and Susan and Laura and Don and Shelton, see, everybody's looking at the same thing, and they find different aspects of the investigation to have more importance than the others. So what I do is I share with you all the information. Then this is your resource so that you can try to recognize the pattern right along with me and try to develop the best theory or the best explanation of what the hell's going on here. I go out on the internet and read the research of others, give my opinions, and then the trolls, the idiots, the shills, they come out whining and complaining like children. But hey, I am thankful that people are taking the time to do the research and share, and then even if it's only 1% of the data that's useful, at least that is something. Somebody's trying to help. Where the trolls and the shills and the idiots and the haters, they're just out there waving their arms around saying, no, don't believe this. That's like the days of Noah. You can just imagine all the rocks that were thrown at Noah for building an ark out in the middle of nowhere when he knew something was coming. And many of us know something is coming, and we're just trying to connect the dots. If you don't like our commentary, then turn the channel. But we're just doing our best with the information that we have available. Then Bill, he's the owner-operator of Terralo3.com, he sent this picture of the magnetic North Pole, how it's migrating. See, this is not actually Earth wobble, and it's not the Earth's pole wobbling either. This is magnetic pole migration. And whenever you look, see, most of the maps show this as a straight line moving into Siberia, but it's not a straight line. You're looking at a series of loops. And we can look at these dates and see outside orbit position. We can look at these dates and see that the loops are getting longer. There are more days within each cycle. And the reason for that is this is caused by the black star and its influence. As we're going around the sun, the magnetic North Pole is moving forward and then backing up and moving backwards while we're on the back side of the sun. So I see these dates in my black star event timeline. These dates and the crossings, and count the number of days in that cycle. Now we begin another one. See this now, the magnetic North Pole, you can see where it was in February of 2013 and January of 2014, and now it's beginning to make another move. And as long as we're on the near side of the sun relative to the black star, this line's going to keep going down. Then it's going to turn around and back up and make another loop. That's what we're looking at. So the evidence of the magnetic pole migration, that's what it is. This is not a magnetic pole flip. Earth metals have not been they have not changed position in order to change the magnetism of our planet, which happens 3 to 7 times every million years. And then the pole divides when it travels a certain distance. That's not happening because this is caused by the sun and the black star controlling the magnetic polarity of our planet together rather than the sun alone. So we're getting this weird magnetic pole migration and a pattern that is easily recognizable. Then Laura sent in information on Dark Star 1, and his modeling actually follows that of McCanny and Harrington, and it's backwards. They have the black star coming from the opposite direction. So I point that out. Now I've only got a minute to go, and I want to get down to the bottom of this newsletter, lots and lots of information here, to show you something new. This is last week's radio show, and this is the radio show that I just did with JP on Monday night. So with each of these newsletters from now on, in this radio section, you're going to get, there's 2.5 hours of radio commentary, questions and answers, update reports, valuable resource to you guys that are trying to figure out what the hell's going on here. I still think this is the best information in the world, the best research to explain all of what's going on with our planet. So I invite you to become a newsletter subscriber. Send me your questions. Let me post them in this newsletter to help people recognize the patterns that might help us all prepare. So until next week, I'll see you guys. You guys have a good week.